with Endurance Nation, home of the world's largest and fastest online triathlon club. We're also home of the First Time Finishers Guarantee, which is us guaranteeing you, the first time Ironman athlete, train with us, start an Ironman, and if you don't finish for any reason, we will pay you cash for the registration of your next Ironman. And finally, we are home of the coaching world's only 7-day free trial. Come on inside, check us out, and decide if we are a good fit for you, your coaching, training, and racing needs. As always, I'm broadcasting this in 3 places. One is this is going internal into a chat room for my athletes. This is also going up on YouTube, and I strip the audio out to make a podcast. So at some point in this video, I'm going to turn the public stuff off and go into my chat room and answer questions from my athletes. So tonight's topic is swimming in the out season. Patrick and I approach the topic of swimming in the triathlon space a little bit different than the rest of the world. Specifically, everything we do is focused on return on investment, which means before I ask you to do something, before I ask you to invest admin time, training time, limited headspace as an age group triathlete, or most importantly, spousal approval units, we ask ourselves, what exactly are we going to get out of that on race day? Can I achieve the same, similar, or better results on race day by allocating those resources a little bit differently? Okay. And so with regards to the question of swimming as a triathlete, it's very easy to say triathlon equals swim, bike, run. I am a triathlete, ergo I must swim, bike, run all year long, okay? Without stepping back and thinking critically about what am I getting out of this investment? How does the cost of that investment change across time? And what am I getting out of that on race day? So specifically, spending 3 hours on the bike on a trainer in January is fundamentally different on a number of levels than spending 3 hours in the sun with your friends in July in preparation for an August race. Okay. Likewise, swimming at 5:30 in the morning with your master team in January is fundamentally different than swimming in July in preparation for your August race. All right. So before I have you pack a bag, drive to the pool, swim at 5:30 in the morning before work in January, I ask myself, what are you getting for it on race day? Can I achieve better results by having you do something different? So the net is that we recommend that our athletes not swim for about a 10 to 14 week block every year, which is the out-season training plan. Okay, so what we do is, backing up. Okay, what we've learned is that swimming is about making, so as an adult, a triathlon swimmer, you make your investment in the swim according to two basic categories: swimming technique and swimming fitness. Right? Most to set a benchmark for you. If as an Ironman swimmer, if you're slower than about a 1:15 or a 1:20 Ironman swim, getting better is much more about technique than it is about fitness. Which is to say, if you're currently a 1:40 swimmer, I'm saying that the difference between you swimming 1:40 and swimming 1:20 to 1:15 is mostly technique, and then building the fitness that you need to maintain that technique for the distance of your swim. Okay, so for you, getting faster on the Ironman swim is about learning how to play a trumpet better. It's a technique exercise, and that and then at some, so it's about making the proper investment in your technique for a specific time of the year, and then building your fitness closer to your race so that you can sustain that technique for your race distance. And by closer to your race, I'm saying between 12 to 20 weeks out from your race. That's when you switch your focus from technique towards putting fitness on top of that technique. Okay, so how we apply that in our out season is we understand that that your gains, there's much greater gains to be had on race day by making you a faster cyclist and runner, because while I might be able to make you 5 to 15 minutes faster on the swim, if I can make you a faster cyclist, I can knock off 10 to 30 minutes off your Ironman bike split. And if I can make you a stronger runner, but most importantly, if I can teach you how to execute well, which is a totally different set of conversations, right? If I can teach you how to execute well at the Ironman distance, I can take 30 minutes to 2 hours off your Ironman time, right? So it's about where is your best opportunity for gains on race day. That's by making you a faster cyclist, a faster runner, and a faster swimmer. But most importantly, it's about teaching you how to execute, right? So the role of swimming for the Endurance Nation athlete and his place in the out season. Our out season training plan is 14 weeks, and we don't have any swimming prescribed in the first 10 weeks. This year, in our 2015 out season training plans, beginning in week 11, I am prescribing optional swims on Mondays and Fridays. And the guidance that I'm giving is, if you need a head start on your swim because you need help with your swimming technique-wise, or you have your first A race is relatively close to the end of your out season, then you might want to think about getting a head start on your swimming by taking advantage of these swims that I have scheduled for you on Fridays and Mondays beginning in week 11 in your 14-week out season. Okay. So the Endurance Nation out season athlete doesn't do any swimming, or there's no swimming prescribed in their out season training plan. And I'll give you a bullet point about that first 10 weeks here in a second. But no swimming is prescribed in the first 10 weeks, and then they have optional swims scheduled in that last 4 weeks of the 14-week out season. And then pretty much every Endurance Nation athlete does what's called a swim camp in a 2-week transition that happens between the end of their out season training plan and the start of their next triathlon training plan. Okay, so the swim camp training plan is I kind of put your bike and your swim in maintenance mode, and I really focus on your swim. And inside that 2 weeks, I've got you swimming 3 to 4 days a week, and you're doing a lot of drills and a little bit of fitness swimming, and I'm really just kickstarting your swim. All right. And I have been preparing you for that 2-week swim camp in week 1 of our out-season training plan, when I've been having you do our core and swim preparation program. Okay, so internally for my team this year for 2015, I've created a core routine and a swim preparation routine that our athletes start doing in week 1, and they do across the entire out season, so that when they jumpstart their swim in either week 10 of the OS or in week 1 of swim camp, which happens after week 14 of their out season, they've done 14 weeks of some pretty intensive core exercises and swim cores to prepare them to begin swimming at the end of their out season. Okay, so 10 weeks of no swimming, 4 weeks of optional swimming, 2 weeks of swim camp, and then they jump into their triathlon training plans, which could be some combination of our 8-week Get Faster training plan, or the last 8 to 10 weeks of our half Ironman training plan, or the last 12 to 14 weeks of our Ironman training plan. So the net is that every endurance nation has between 6 math hurts head. So every endurance nation athlete has between 16 to 24 weeks of swimming before their first A race, right? Inside that first 10 weeks of the out season, if they want to swim, we have Mondays and Fridays completely off, and we highly recommend that they plug themselves into a local technique resource. So that master's coach who understands very well how to teach adult onset swimmers how to swim, or you're getting private swim lessons with that guy, preferably with underwater video. So all I'm saying is to you as the Endurance Nation athlete, you as the Endurance Nation podcast listener or video listener, is to step back and say, just because I am a triathlete, that doesn't necessarily mean that I should be doing the same thing all year long. Okay, I should step back and look at where are my opportunities to improve. Where across all three sports am I most likely to see the greatest time improvements on race day? And given that assessment, where should I be applying my headspace, my time, my money, my spousal approval units? Where should I be applying those to each sport, and how should I be applying those across my year? So, for example, you might be a very strong cyclist, and you've kind of tapped out on your, or you've got a sense of what it's going to take to make you a stronger cyclist, time investment wise. How does that bounce off of my swimming ability? How does that bounce off my my Ironman run? Should I instead apply this season more focused towards core strength, flexibility, bike fit, and get some wind tunnel time and make myself slipperier? Should I look at my bottle setup, tires, latex tube versus butyl, whatever? Should I focus on making myself very slippery? Am I a 112 Ironman swimmer, and I know I have a sense of how much work it's going to take for me to go from a 112 to a 108, 4 minutes? Could I find those 4 minutes on the bike? Could I find those 4 minutes on the run? If yes, does it make sense for me to step away and dial down my time swimming, and instead focus on making myself a faster cyclist, a faster runner? But then when I do swim, I'm focusing on my technique. I've been doing work across the out season to build core strength, upper body strength, so that when I do jump in the pool, I'm ready for it. Whatever that assessment is, we're saying have an intelligent conversation with yourself about where your greatest opportunities lie and how best to achieve those gains. Okay, and hopefully what I've given, on the outside, I've been fighting this fight for years. Endurance Nation says to not swim. Hopefully what I'm having with you is an intelligent conversation about making an intelligent assessment about where your greatest opportunities lie and the costs associated with those, so that you can make your choice as a smart, self-activated, self-coached athlete to make the best decision about where to apply your time. And hopefully what I've done is give you some insights into how, or insights into the resources the swimming resources that I've created for my athletes, and how I apply them across the swim seasons of my athletes. And I should mention that inside, for a guy who doesn't prescribe swimming to his athletes, I've got a 2-week swim intensive program. I have a 25-page swim clinic ebook that has video drill demonstrations and breaks down in very, very great detail the activity of swimming. I've got 35 to 45 underwater video critiques that I've created in my local swim clinics that I've posted online for my team. And then finally, when my athletes do start swimming, the evil Coach Rich, former competitive college swimmer hat goes on, and my folks work very, very hard on the swim. Okay. All this for a squad that doesn't like to swim. I would just like to say that. Okay. So if you're listening in podcast land and you want to learn more, please check us out at endurancenation.us. We have podcasts, videos, blogs, tons and tons of content. Highly recommend that you consider coming inside and creating a free 7-day trial. Go to endurancenation.us/join. Come inside. We will coach you for 7 days. I will create for you your own customized triathlon season roadmap. Patrick will call you to answer any questions. You'll be able to check out our team, our squad, our platform, our training plans. But most importantly, you'll have an opportunity to ask my athletes about their experiences with us and decide for yourself if we are a good fit for your coaching, training, and racing needs for 2015. You ask yourself, does all this work? Endurance Nation was the World Championship Tri Club for 2013. We're on track for winning this award for 2014. We put 15 people in Kona this year, but most importantly, we teach our athletes how to. We have our athletes work hard, get smart, and go fast. It absolutely works. So check us out. So I'm gonna turn off the public portion, and I'm gonna go inside and answer questions for my athletes. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching, folks. This is Coach Rich signing off. You, the Endurance Nation athletes, stay on board. I'm gonna answer your questions here. Go into the chat room now. Okay, folks, any questions for me? Rich is waiting. Rich is waiting. Let's see. As long as I got you, Ironman Arizona was awesome. I'll be doing a podcast on this weekend. I bought myself a new microphone because I'm tired of this echo that I get. So I'll be doing that on Saturday, giving a breakdown of how Ironman Arizona went and giving tips, training tips specific to Ironman Arizona. It was a great weekend. We had a ton going on. Thanksgiving is coming up. Any questions for me? Okay, folks, kind of a quiet night. I'm going to process this, get it up, put it in the wiki, put it in the OutSeason forum. Thanks for watching. Okay, I have a question here. Matt asks, am I going to teach a swim clinic anytime soon? I do local swim clinics in Southern California, El Monte. If you're local, there's a possibility. Pool time, El Monte, is a great venue, but they're closed for a lot of the winter. And I haven't put on a swim clinic over there in about a year and a half. So I'll have to think about it. I've got a pretty busy winter and spring. Jim, with regards to core work in the OS, I'm glad it's hard. These swim cords. So you can't see it back there, but my cords are on a pull-up bar back there, and I just kind of adjust how close I'm standing to the so I manage how difficult the bands are by how close I stand to the attachment point where the bands are attached to, right? Bottom line is, I want you doing these with good form first, strength second, and when you start to feel your lats go and you start reaching failure, that's when I go to that finish phase where I lock my elbows and I just do my triceps. So there you go. Thanks for listening, and I'll get this up for everyone. Bye, folks.